Good morning, traders. It's TraderRob. We are live. Today is Wednesday, June 12th. Just an absolute ton of high impact news this morning. Let's take a look at what we got in store. So this morning we had CPI data came in a little lower than expected. Forecast was 3.4%, came in at 3.3. Obviously, we had some pretty big spikes in the equities markets. So this is the ES, and we've got the NQ pretty much mirroring the ES pretty good here. This does make trading our levels strategy a little bit more difficult, and I'll get into that in a little bit. As far as other remaining news, obviously we've got oil inventory report at 9:30 this morning, which obviously will affect our oil session 2 trade, possibly. And the big kahuna at 1 o'clock, we've got, these are all central time, we've got U.S. interest rate decision and FOMC rate statement. So we've got a bunch of high impact news here this morning. So let's see how we can kind of navigate the strategies. Let me take a look really quickly. 802. Taking a look at the commodities markets. If we take a look at oil's pretty much been on an uptrend here all morning, and just a ton of inside bars. I mean, we went here probably almost 3 hours inside of this range. Finally shot out of the range once the news at 7:30 hit, and kind of the same thing for gold. Gold was like in this range for pretty much, I don't know, maybe 8 hours. And again, you could kind of just, once you start seeing majority of your chart getting colored up with inside bars, it's just, it even makes that congestion or indecision so much more visible for you. So we'll see here what we can get out of the strategies. Yesterday was a tough day trading. So we had 3 trades, in 2 in oil. I actually ended up I took an incorrect inside bar yesterday morning. I had my orders kind of bracketed in oil with about 1 second left. It just absolutely wicked in, which created a non-inside bar. But I was able to still take a $200 trade on that. I mean, I went to my source bar, found the stop loss. So I was able to get that. I didn't end up taking oil session 1 just because I only like taking 1 trade per session, even though it was the incorrect trade. I don't want to change necessarily the amount of trades per day. So I did miss out on the loss in oil session 1, which was a loss of about 14 ticks. Took the gold loss, which was a big one. That was, I think, 36 ticks, if I remember correctly. And then oil session 2 was also a loser for 23 ticks. As far as the stats for June month to date, this is up until last Friday. So it doesn't have the wins from like Monday, and doesn't have the losses from yesterday. So again, trading oil session 1, 104 ticks, oil session 2, 19 ticks. This is now in the negative, I think. Let's see exactly what it is. So oil session 2 now is down 4 ticks. So let's just call that almost break even. Oil session 1 now is at 90 ticks, and gold is now at 54 ticks. This is obviously up to date as of yesterday. And now the Rob reversal, we had 2 losses yesterday. So this now is down 35 points. So the stats obviously, they change, and we are looking. My theory in trading is one, you're trying to win that trade, you're trying to win that day, and then you're trying to win as many days as you can in the week to try to win the week, and then you're trying to win as many weeks as you can to win the month. And then obviously you're trying to win as many months as you can to win the quarter, and then hopefully win the year. So I know it's a kind of it's a long-term kind of outlook, but that's really the way you have to trade. Yesterday was kind of it was a crappy day of trading. So, you kind of have to look at over the last 2 months, it's been fantastic. So you can't really get too up or too down on trades. Obviously, it's super exciting when you have winners, and the losers, obviously, they suck. But it's a bigger picture, that's for sure. So let's do our location check really quick on the chat. Let me know where you guys are trading from. Obviously, I'm in Chicago. I'm in the suburbs of Chicago. So let me know where you guys are at. Got a few questions this morning. One, obviously a pretty obvious question. Are you still trading the strategies this morning, even though it's CPI? Obviously, we got a bunch of stuff. CPI, oil inventory, and FOMC. And my answer to that was I am trading my morning strategies in oil and in gold. I have the 15-minute Rob reversal turned off for today. You got to remember that usually leading up to FOMC, there's a lot of jockeying for position, and I just don't feel very comfortable with price action, leading up into FOMC. But as far as the commodities markets, my back testing has shown that even during these high impact days, the oil markets and the gold markets are going to continue to move. So I still trade them. All right, so we've got East Texas from Wesley, Malaysia. We've got Germany, Miami, Atlanta, North Carolina, Florida, Janesville, Wisconsin. Hey, Ron, I'm going to be up there, I don't know, about a week, 2 weeks for a softball tournament, coaching my daughter's softball tournament in Janesville. Staying up there for the weekend. Where else? Florida, my second home. Love Florida. South Africa. Where we got else? North Carolina, Ontario, Canada. Man, it's all over the place. I love it. Houston, Texas. All right, so we do not have a setup here in oil session 1. Obviously, this invalidated now with a new lower low on this down bar. So let's take a look at our levels from. Let's take a look at our levels. I kept the levels from yesterday on here. I just wanted to show you guys a few things. All right, here are our levels from yesterday. So on the NQ, I had pointed this one out as a setup here. Obviously, that would have been a great win. I was really trying to target this area right down here at 18,967. I will clear out all of these levels, and we'll remap everything here this morning, just so you guys can kind of get an understanding of how I come up with these levels. On the ES, I really did get a little bit unlucky. So this first setup here, which I did create a video early from yesterday morning, but I honestly did not get home from work until about 8:30. So I did have a level here. This kind of went through, but in my first part of my video at like 7:45, I even mentioned that this was an area that I wasn't very thrilled about here. This was the trade that I was looking for yesterday. I had actually been looking for about 2 or 3 days. where tapping into this 15-minute level at 53.33. And the reason why I loved this trade was you had obviously a 15-minute level as an entry. You had a 5-minute level as a stop loss, and you had this obviously this level wasn't here before. This was the level that I was targeting. As you can see, this was my trade setup that I was looking for, and price action came about a point away from my entry. I had a resting buy order down here, and didn't get to it. That would have been just an absolute beauty, cherry of a trade, but that happens. All right, so let's map out these levels, which will be, let's delete everything that we got here. I'm not going to delete this bottom one because this one I know is where our trade, yep. Oh no, shit, I deleted the wrong one. Crapper. All right, well, that's all right. We'll redo them. All right, let's start off in the 15-minute time frame here. Now you got to remember that price action for the levels this morning is going to be very difficult. And the reason behind why it's going to be difficult. Let's see, what do we got here? We got 3 minutes left in, I think we only current setup we have is an oil session 1, but we still got some time on that. All right, so the reason why it becomes difficult on these high impact news is that, well, look at this candle right here. I mean, this is a huge candle that just knocked out a bunch of levels. So everything to the left of this has already pretty much been tapped into, which kind of creates a scenario where you need price action to develop new levels now going forward from the open and beyond. But let's just see if there's anything here that we can find. Obviously, I see one right here. Remember, we're on the ES right now. We're looking at a 15-minute level. And very simple. We've got price action that came down, price action for one reason or the other. I don't know what the reason is. Just turned direction and had a pretty good thrust in the opposite direction here. So what I do is I put my 15-minute level in between where it intersects both of these bodies at the bottom of it. Okay, I'm not interested in the wicks. I'm only interested in the bottom of the bodies. So that's a 15-minute level right there. Let's see what else right here, which is probably where my trade setup came from. I'm assuming, yes. There's another 15-minute level at 53.33. This is the level that I really wanted to trade, that I've been looking for this trade for a couple of days. And then we've got another level down here at 53.13. As you guys can see, price action comes down for one reason or another. You just got price action going in the complete opposite direction. So something right here really caused the market to change direction with authority. So I will map this on the 15-minute level. And then above us, we really don't have anything because we are pretty much at highs. So, you know, this is the area right here that I don't want to, I'm not going to trade. There's just no setup here that I like. And this area right here, I'm not thrilled with this level. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about here. Give me 1 second. Let's switch over to oil. All right, so we got an inside bar here set up in oil session 1. We got about 20 seconds left on this candle, so we might have a setup here. All right, we will have a setup. So I got my orders right now, which are straddling price action. So price action came a little quick. All right, this is gonna be a small trade. Oh man, 9 ticks. Oh, and I would have hit it already. Actually, no. All right, so tiny trade here in oil session 1 for 90 ticks, and we pretty much already came to 70%, but I'm honestly gonna leave it where it's at because it's not enough space. It's not enough room for price action here. Really small trade. Karn, yes, yesterday had two Rob reversals. I'll show them up on the chart. I'm not trading the Rob reversal today because of the high impact news. Um, but I will show you the two setups that we had yesterday. Man. So that was the thrust that we're obviously looking for outside of that inside bar. We are already at over 70%, but the fact that it's such a small trade of 9 ticks, um, going down to 4 or 5 ticks, really is just going to smother that trade and probably not even give you an opportunity to take a take profit here. But looks like we might get stopped out here in the first trade of the morning. Also had a question yesterday. I believe it was on Discord. If if I ever change my position sizing based on the size of the trade, and I don't. So if it's a 9 tick trade, I will still take one E-mini, and if it's a 36 tick trade, I will still take one E-mini. That's what I feel comfortable trading with right now, especially with where my account size is at. Um, so that is something that I do not adjust. Not really liking. I like the initial start to this trade, but I definitely don't like where we're currently at, and because of the size of this trade, you really are not. There's just not that much space for price action to kind of really even give you a real fighting chance here. But we'll see. Never give up. All right, we got New Jersey, we got Morocco, another one from Canada. Rob, what time oil and gold morning sessions start in GMT? I don't know. You just got to make the conversion from Central Time to GMT. If you go on Google search, you could probably make that conversion pretty easily. Uh, do you watch double bottoms? So I'll show you, Leo, I'll show you what I personally do. I almost consider when we get into double bottom situations, the amount of times that my levels get tapped into greatly affect if I am going to be even trading that level, which I'll kind of show you a few examples if I can find one on the chart. All right, come on. Let's just get a quick win here. It's 90 bucks, but 90 bucks is still 90 bucks. Pretty interesting. Come on, oil. Come on, oil. love to switch over to the levels because it's 8:20, but man, I thought this 9 tick trade would probably be over in a few minutes, but again, I these inside bars really show indecision very, very well. And when you start seeing a bunch of them, you know you're going to be in an area of consolidation. Um, so you can kind of see the range right from here. Honestly, where we're bracketing right now for our take profit and our stop loss is pretty much the range of price action over the last, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. But you would think a 9 tick trade would have concluded already that. All right, so in gold, we do not have a setup. We got invalidated there. Come on, oil. So, Sharif, I've been trading this strategy for, I don't know, probably 15 months already. And sure, so I would say February and March have typically been the months that have been pretty difficult on the morning oil and morning gold strategies. Besides that, if you join the Discord, I post monthly results of all of the setups each and every morning, kind of like what I just showed you guys here. This is obviously for June. But at the end of the month, I always give a recap video as well. And in Discord, I am working on creating a new channel just for the stats for all of the strategies. Ooh, that was not good. This is gonna get stopped out right here. Did not like that. You could just tell. Come on. Come on. So Wesley, as far as the Apex rules, I do not trade with Apex. I trade with Top Step. I am an affiliate with them. That's actually the eval that we're currently trading on. But I did read the rules with Apex as far as these. Um, I guess I don't want to call them a breakout strategy, but if you're straddling an order with a buy and a short, we are obviously using OCO, so we are doing order cancels the other. But from what my interpretation of the rules was, if you have a clear strategy that you can show that you have consistently traded, that and the key word is strategy, not just placing blind trades and hoping for one way or the other for a huge windfall. If you have a consistent strategy that you constantly trade, that this style of trading would be fine. And from what I have seen, people are still trading the strategy every single day with Apex. So, but take that for what it's worth. I don't trade with Apex, so I might not be the absolute best person to answer that question. But I did read the rules, so that was my interpretation of them. This one, come on, oil. 5 minutes to the market open. I still don't have my levels mapped out yet, which I do not like. This is the craziest 9-tick trade I've ever seen in my life. I mean, usually you go through 9 ticks in about 30 seconds in oil, which obviously is telling you something. And price action is just kind of ugly right now after that news spike. All right, oil session one was a loser. Unfortunately, man, we were like probably 2 ticks away from take profit there at like $70, but then at least the one consolidation or um, the one thought here is it was obviously a tiny trade, so we can hopefully make up for that one in gold, which gold does have a setup right now, but there's 2 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the levels so I can get this part done. Here's a level that I was thinking about, but here's the reason why I don't like this level is that you see how price action gets right up to 53, 57-ish area, and then it's just kind of bouncing around, and then you get a movement up. Yes, you get a down bar, you get an up bar here, but there was no clear shift in direction as far as coming from down to up. There was a big lag right here, which I do not like. So I will not map that as a level. And that's honestly it. That's the only thing I can find on the 15-minute level, which I kind of already knew just because of the fact that price action moved so damn quickly. So let's take a look and see now for some trading opportunities. If I go down to the 5-minute, I like this level right here, which is at 53.71. I will make that into a dotted line that helps me kind of visualize that we had a 5-minute level, and kind of tapped into this here. I'm going to put this level here, even though it's not as strong, but I will put this level at 53.54, down, up, right here. Okay, and then let's see if there's anything else that's resting right below that. I believe that there is. Let's see right here. All right, no setup in gold, so I got some time here. And that's about it. That's about all that I see right now. So obviously you can see that here are my levels. 53.71, 53.54 on the 5-minute, and then on the 15-minute, 53.42, 53.33. But from where these are at to where price action is at is obviously nowhere near any of this. So, and I don't have any level here. Obviously, you've got a huge gap here on the 5-minute, and you've got probably a huge gap on the 15-minute. So I don't like trading the gaps. I'm not a gap trader. That's not what I am looking for. Obviously you can get a rejection from the gap. You can get a continuation, a fill-in of the gap. I don't want to be involved in that scenario. So unfortunately, price action would have to make a pretty drastic retracement or start to create a new 15-minute or 5-minute levels coming down or going back up, where I can say, what the hell is that? Where I can say where that trade was at, or where that setup was at. So if we go now to the NQ, I'm pretty sure we're probably going to see the exact same thing. But let's take a look. So let's delete these guys from yesterday and we'll start fresh. I got one more down here. All right, so let's take a look at this from the 15-minute time frame. This is kind of interesting right here. I'm just going to map this one right here, even though it's a, and you got a doji right here, but you obviously had price action starting to come one way. This is a very fresh level, so this might need to get adjusted based on what price action does here. Obviously, if it just goes straight up, this would not be a valid level anymore. And this is why I'm saying these days where you got high impact news, they present challenges. So here we've got a level on the 15-minute right here. Clear something obviously made the market go in an opposite direction right at this level. So that's at 19,033. Let's see, nothing here. Obviously, you could just kind of see that the price action was just staying here for a while. So I don't see anything there. Right here, we got a great one. Love this one. 18,958 would be an area that I would very strongly consider if I can find something on a 5-minute time frame. Let's just see if there's anything else. Not necessarily liking this one. Don't like this one. That's it. All right, so that's it on the 15-minute. Let's just make sure there's nothing here. Nothing here. All right, so pretty crappy levels so far. Obviously, I like to map out I like to map out two 15-minute levels above price action, two 15-minute levels below price action, and then obviously try to get that same amount in the 5-minute time frames to obviously develop trading setups. And even this level right here is a level that I don't even like anymore. So I'm deleting that. So I've got no setups. Obviously, we're at the high market here. So we've got no setups above us. We're only looking for setups below us. So now let's move into the 5-minute. And let's see what we can, nothing there that I like. Nothing there. I can make a case for this guy right here at 19,156. I'll move this down to a 5-minute level, which is dashed. You can make a case for right here at 19,110. Price action card going up, came back down. For some reason, price action reversed and had a really good thrust upwards. Great level on the 5-minute. Got a great level right here, clear as day. Granted, nowhere near a 15-minute level, which kind of stinks, but so right here at 18,996 we got a level. And then let's just see if there's anything else here. This would have been a level, got tapped into already. This would be a level, got tapped into already. So I can't remember who asked me, but let's just say that kind of like a mini double bottom, just because of, you're on a 5-minute time frame. But once it's like, this would have been to me a great level to trade from right here. Okay, this was a level, but that level already got tapped into, so that would kind of be like the double bottom. And yes, I would definitely trade this scenario. That's pretty much how I trade the levels. But once this taps into it here, I'm done. I'm done with that level. It's not something that I'm currently marking for the day. And that's it. I mean, honestly, looking at, I could definitely make a case for it right here at 1896. All right, let's just take a top level view now of what this looks like. All right, price action is up here. Here are my levels that I have mapped out. Okay, so we've got a 5-minute level at 19,156 at 110. We got a 5-minute level at 996 and 967. We've got a 15-minute level at 19,033 and 18,958. Now, can there be any trade setups here? Well, here's the issue. We are 300 points away, or roughly 300 points away from any of these levels. So is that going to give you a trading opportunity for today? Probably not. You know, maybe leading into FOMC, you can probably get, you know, that'll cause the markets to have some pretty huge shifts. But, you know, 300 points is a big deal. So, and that's why when I came on this morning and I said the levels trades today will probably be pretty difficult, this is my reasoning, is because of these huge spikes that just blow out a lot of price action to the left, blow out a lot of levels to the left, and you're kind of left with really not great trading opportunities. But let's just say magically this price action was to come back down. Let's take a look and see what I would consider to be a trade setup. Nothing really great, to be honest with you. Nothing super great. The only thing that I could see on a scalp would be right here. So an entry off of this 18,964, targeting either this level right here at 1996, because you've got a clear stop loss at 18,958. So this, and I believe that this would be a positive risk to reward trade. 28 points, and you could probably put your stops somewhere in this 20-point range. So a 1.5 risk to reward, that's what my trade setup would look like based off of my 15-minute and my 5-minute levels. That's what I'm looking for. So hopefully that kind of becomes clear as to what I'm looking to trade and what I'm not looking to trade. For instance, over here, you've got two 5-minute levels. So this is the issue with these trades. I come back down here, I tap in, and yes, it can go anywhere it wants to go. Hopefully, let's just say it goes up. You would have nothing here to target that would be what I would consider to be a reasonable trade on the NQ. And then what makes matters worse is look at the gap, the size of the gap here. This is probably 45 points of a stop loss. That's just not realistic for me unless I go down to maybe 3 or 4 micros. So this becomes not tradable in my opinion. And that is what you guys see. I might only take 3 trades per week. Sometimes I take a trade per day, but you know, it's been probably 2 days since I've taken a levels trade. I'm very patient on the setups that I'm looking for. That is for damn sure. I'm very patient on it. You saw in the ES, I've had it for 2 days, a resting order. It came 1.5 points away from tapping into it and making that trade setup be perfect, but it didn't happen. It did not happen. And I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that. As long as the account continues to grow, I'm all right with that. So unfortunately, on the level side, we're probably not going to get a setup here today, but you never know. You never know. Let me post this really quick. is the 12th. That's the NQ. Let's take a look at the ES. Okay, the ES, we're on the 5 minute, so I will map this guy right here. Very possible another level right here. Nothing here. This would have been a great level. So let me just show you and let me explain this to you. We're on the 5 minute. This right here would be a good level, but the reason why it's no longer a good level is that look at what price action did. Came back, wicked right through this, and would already knock this level out. So I don't even map it. All right, let's shrink price action here. Now let's study our setups for the ES. Again, price action, we're at 54.33. Our first level, our first, let's say, tradable area starts to get in at 53.42. So we are, what is that, 70, almost 90 points away from that. On the ES, a 90-point move is huge. You need a lot of momentum to get to that area. So, but again, magically, let's say price action gets down here. What are the trading opportunities? You guys saw me map the levels on the 5 and the 15-minute level. Now let's try to look for some trading opportunities. Clear. I like. I liked my setup at 53.33 for an entry off this 15, but I don't see my 5 minute. I had a 5 minute stop loss. Let me just. Oh, it's probably this one right here. Nope, wasn't that one. Let's see if I can find it. So I was probably using this one, even though I don't. Oh no, I was using this guy right here. I believe. Or was I using this one? I don't know. I might have been using this guy right here, but that's fine. We can adjust. So I can say right. I don't even like that one. I don't like that level. I don't like that level either. All right. So let's adjust. Let's adjust on the fly here. All right, so now the setup would look something probably more similar to this, even though I really like this 53.33. I'm going to use this line right here. That's a trade setup for me to go long. This right here would be a setup that you can use, but the issue here is that look at the gap from price action. So where I'm targeting would have to be all the way up here, okay, which is too big of a move on the ES. So even though I like this setup because you got a 15-minute level and a 5-minute level as a stop loss, I don't have a clear take profit. So I would have to wait for price action. Obviously, once it makes its way all the way back down here, then I would have to determine if there is a more realistic take profit area. Stop loss is great. Entry is great. Stop loss is great. But I have nothing here to work at as far as a take profit. Okay, and then let's move this so we can see price action. Post these in Discord. No setup in gold. This is the ES and the 12th. Save. Give me 1 second while I post this. And I never post them these late. I usually post these about 7:40 a.m. So about 40 to 50 minutes before the market opens. So people that like to look at these levels have them there early in the morning to trade from. 6/12/24. Morning levels. And then I'm just going to say price action from news killed many setups. All right, so those are posted. Let's take a look where we currently sit at. right, so gold looks like it's heading towards the overnight open, so more than likely we might get a retest here at this overnight open, or it could just blow right through it. Kind of just a rangy oil market. And price action looks ugly today. I look just on everything. There's just not much not much going on here that I like. Let's look at the questions really quick. CL stopped out. Yep, $90 loss on that one. Have you used Trade Copier yet on TopStep-X? How many paid accounts can you link? So yes, I have. I am using a Trade Copier on TopStep-X, and I want to believe that there is up to 5 paid accounts, or I should say funded express accounts that you can trade. At least that's what the rules were when they came out with some kind of promo. I think it was either $19 or $29 that you can link up to 5 express accounts now. Big spikes in gold right now. Yeah, obviously we had some movements downwards, but nothing super out of the norm. Well, I should say out of the norm for today's price action. This is kind of garbage. All right, give me a second. I'm going to be reviewing some charts here. Okay, now for those of you joining my live session here today for the first time, obviously if you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and there's a bunch of strategies here. I don't say a bunch. There's 3 strategies here that we trade each and every morning. So we've got a strategy in oil, in gold, and the 15-minute Rob reversal. I have also introduced in 2024 the levels trades that, to be quite honest with you, I never really felt comfortable trading the ES. I've traded it for a very long time, and the NQ I've traded for a very long time. But it really wasn't until I started to really find these trades on my levels that I started to become comfortable. I started to become profitable with them. And they just seem to me to be very easy. The one issue that I will always tell you with this type of trading is you've got to be very, very careful, because obviously there's a very big discretionary side of this style of trading. And whenever you bring discretion into a trade, that's where you have the risk of either over trading or revenge trading. So as you guys all know that have been following my journey here, I still, even when I felt comfortable trading the levels on these eval and funded accounts, I limit myself to 1 trade per day. And that's the only filter that, or I should say the only condition and rule that I could build into this that would help me prevent myself from over trading or prevent me from trading at all. So that's something that you got to really be careful with. Now, let's see here. If you are new to the channel, I did create a website, which is robstrades.com. It's all the way linked at the top of the page. And there you can go in. If you click on indicators, get your indicator, there is the strategy video for each one of the strategies that we trade each morning, the rules of the strategies that we trade each morning, and there is also the indicators and the strategies that you can download for NinjaTrader. So like the 15-minute Rob reversal, I trade that pretty much through the strategy, so it automatically trades for me from 8:30 till 9. I'm sorry, till 1:15 in the afternoon. There's a morning oil strategy that this is the trade that we just took in oil session 1, so the rules are all here, and you can auto trade that strategy as well. There is a strategy you can download for NinjaTrader and also in gold. So all of the strategies, all of the indicators are in there. So just make sure you know that. Let's see here. No setup there. What time is it? 8:52. So that sucks. So no trade in gold. No setup in gold here this morning. All right, give me 1 second. May. Thank you. See if I can pop this. So I forgot who asked me about the Rob reversal, but yeah, I guess they were right. There was just one. I could have swore we had another loss there. Yeah, to me, this would be a firing setup right here. Could have swore I saw 2 losses yesterday in the Rob reversal. I remember this one because I took a $700 hit on that one yesterday. But this, to me, would have been a setup. Could have swore I saw another loss here. Interesting. This invalidates, obviously, past the session time. I don't know, I'm stumped on this one. I could have swore I saw another loss here yesterday. But now that I reran it, I don't see it. Interesting. All I know is that I lost $700 on that one yesterday. So that one sucked. All right, gold. Nothing with golds. So now all we've got is oil session 2. And then obviously you've got oil in an oil report that's coming out this morning at 9:30, which is going to obviously cause some craziness. Let's switch over here to load layout levels, Rob's levels. All right, and we're back. So this is just, oh, well, I got a level here. I got a new level on the NQ that formed at 19,405. So again, like as price action develops, you can keep mapping it. Keep switching from the 15 and 5 minute. This is a nice level because that's at the 15 and the 5 minute. Both share the same level. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to build yourself as many trading ideas as you can. And this looks different to me than the ES. But this is just such a rangy garbage. There's nothing there that I like. Because I could say you can also make a point for right here. But look at this range. I mean, this is already tapping into a whole shit ton of liquidity. All right, I'm not looking at that level. And then try to build some levels as you kind of go. All right, in a few minutes, we're going to be opening up oil session 2, so we'll be actively looking for a trade there. I'm going to go refresh my coffee, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see if a fresh cup of coffee can stir up the markets here a little bit. So currently, actively, we're only looking for a trade setup in oil session 2, which is officially active right now. Not really liking price action here this morning, obviously. Range, spike with the news, no big deal. That's normal. But this price action here is just it's kind of ugly. Let's see what we got here. Like that right there. So if we get a signal before session open, we take it. So it might, on the 15-minute Rob reversal, remember that trades start from 8:30 till 1:15. So if you get a signal to go, let's say long, and it meets all of the conditions at the 8:30 close candle, you would then be taking that next trade at, let's say, 8:31. That would be a valid 15-minute Rob reversal. And same thing with the 1:15. So if you get an activation candle at 1:15, or I should say the 1 to 1:15, I still take that trade. But those trades towards the end of the day, I tend to be a little bit more risky. My back testing has not been that great with them, just because, if that trade lasts a while, I don't like trading the equities markets much past 2 o'clock. So if you get a quick trade, it's usually works out in your favor. But in general, I'm not a huge fan of trading the equities markets very late in the day, in the trading day. All right, let's take a look at the levels for already. Let's see, nothing on the NQ. Yes, let's see what's happening. All right, we can map another 5-minute level right here. You could almost map out a level right here. Down. I'd like to see price action continue a little bit more before I would validate this setup right here. And this is the name of the game, is to kind of just keep building your levels to hopefully come up with a setup. Just with these 2 levels here alone is not enough for me to trade. Yes, I could very easily say I could take a trade. I could take a long off of this level, but I don't have anything really to target yet. You could possibly target this level right here. What the hell was that? Let's do that over again. So let's say price action retraces down to this level at 54.28. You can target, let's say, this level right here. But we don't have a level yet. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that this is still kind of up in the air as far as a take profit is concerned. The other thing I don't like necessarily about this setup is that I do not have let's just make sure I don't have a 15-minute level of... All right, so I got a 15-minute level right here. Let's make this a solid line. So now that kind of starts to build a setup. And now the setup looks smarter to be right here. Nothing to target yet, so not a setup that I can trade yet because I do not have a clear take profit. But now I actually have a 15-minute level that I can go, I could use as an entry, and I now have a clear stop loss at 54.27. Actually, I have 2 levels of defense down below me. So this is setting up to be a setup, but it's not officially one yet because again, I do not have a clear take profit at all. And that's what I keep stressing, is that as price action keeps developing, map out your levels so that you get some trading opportunities. So as I said, I didn't like anything up here, but now we're starting to develop some areas that become kind of tradable. Let's take a look at oil. All right, so oil, got 2 minutes left on this candle. So we'll see here what, let's just take a look. All right, we'll see if we get a setup here. Boy, the NQ is nasty right now. It isn't just stuck in this 20-point range. Okay. Let's take a look at this level. 19,470. That's a level out of my tick chart. Let's see, NQ 19, what did I say? 470. 470 puts you right here-ish. Yeah, nothing I like there, just because we are in that big gap. Don't like that at all. Nothing there I like. All right, no setup in oil, so we just keep watching. Now's a great time for questions, anybody. If anybody's got a question on there, I got some time here. So we got 20 minutes for oil inventory report. Nothing this range. It's an ugly. Remember, again, always leading into FOMC or some kind of really big report, you really just start kind of sitting in these ranges. It becomes very difficult to trade. So just be mindful of that. Let's look at the ES. What is this? Let me just see how big of a trade this is here. This would be about 12 points. Let's see. Canadian cents got a winner on the 10 a.m. inside bar. I'm assuming you're talking about assuming you're probably trading the Eastern time, so I don't even know what setup you're looking at. I don't see any setup at 10 a.m. I don't know what market you're trading. Or I guess I should say I don't know what strategy you might be trading, but I don't even see an inside bar at 10 a.m. or at my 9 a.m. Unless you're talking about the 8 a.m. for Central Time. That would not be a valid setup just because your inside bar closed at 8 a.m. And if we go back to the rules on our strategy, just so everybody understands, let's take a look at oil. Well, it's pretty simple. Trading times 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time, but you ignore the first inside bar in session 1, so the 8 a.m. to 8:05 candle. And the reason for that is that the source bar that we'd be using for our stop loss and take profit would be pre-session, so that would not be a valid setup there. In case you're just trying to follow strategy, that might be some helpful hints. But again, I don't know exactly what you might be trading. Well, not a lot happening here this morning. Down 90 bucks on the eval. Took that first session trade in oil, which came about 2 ticks away from full take profit. And I did not reduce my risk there down 50% just because it was only 9 ticks on that trade, and I just didn't feel like that was enough space. Again, I don't like the word feel in trading. So if I would have just followed my rules and conditions to the T, I would have been down probably 50 bucks. So I guess almost the same. Let's see what we got going on. Let's look at the NQ. Okay, finally making a break here, or trying to make a break from here. Nothing momentous. Now we got a movement out. Now we finally get a movement out on the NQ. I like this. I would say right there. And I like this right here. Mm-hmm. All right, we got three minutes left in the CL oil session 2. Let's see if we can get a trade opportunity there. pretty boring morning. Pretty boring. $13 left for oil inventory. Let's see what we got on the new, what we got coming up tomorrow. So tomorrow we got PPI. We got a U.S. initial jobless claims at 7:30. Thought there were some Fed speakers tomorrow. Yeah, Fed Williams speaks. DOJ rate statement decision. And then on the 14th, we have University of Michigan sentiment. All right, so we got some news tomorrow. All right, so now I would consider this here a 5-minute level. So now we have a trade setup. Now we got a plan here. That would look something like what I've got laid out here on this long tool. So this would probably go down to about 10 points. So an entry off of the 54.30, targeting 54.41. Stop loss down here, the 54.27 number. Now, granted, from where we're at, it's about 17 points. So, I mean, still a pretty big move on the ES, so we'd have to see what would happen. Ooh. Okay, no setup. Thought maybe I missed something there. Canadian Sense IQ, yes, CL 955 Eastern bar. All right, so I mean, I'm glad for your win, but again, I don't know if you are following my strategy like to the T or not, but that would not have been a valid setup because the bar that you're talking about is this one right here, which is the 7:55 to 8 a.m. That would be an inside bar. But again, the source bar that you'd be using is the 7:50, 7:55, and that would invalidate that setup, which obviously it was a win, I think, for you. Let's see, 02, so that's 13 ticks, 11. Yeah, it's for sure a winner there for you, which is great. But again, that doesn't follow my strategy to the T, just because if you do go into the rules on the oil strategy, you ignore the first inside bar in session 1, which is the 8 a.m. to 8:05 candle. Okay, just so you understand that. Yeah, the NQ to me just doesn't look tradable today. I think the only setup here possible is the ES. It's the only thing that I see that I like. I don't even like it that much, but it's a setup. Okay, what else we got? I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and looked like I had two connection drops there on NT while I was answering a phone call. We got about 3 minutes left to this oil inventory report. Obviously, we had kind of actually happy that we did not get this set up here leading into the report, but we're going to see a pretty good spike here in about 2 minutes in oil. Another fun little fact, oil inventory days. I would say that there is close to about a 70 to 75% chance that you get a spike upwards. At least that has been what I have noticed in obviously trading this for so damn long. These oil Wednesday reports. It doesn't always happen, but there's always a good chance of that. Should get a little interesting here in about a minute. Again, no setup this morning in gold, nothing whatsoever. No inside bar setup here this morning. No setup on the Rob reversal. Actually want to turn off the Rob reversal. That's what I was meaning to do. Just did that to show the trades from yesterday. All right, here we go. 10 seconds. My bet is on breaking 79.32. Ooh, the wrong bet. There you go. There's the 25%. So that was about, let's see, that was 77. That was about a 40 tick drop, if not more. Let's see. Yep, about 40 ticks drop right there. So now let me just give you guys also an explanation with these type of candles. So obviously you've got a huge move down. I can also, if I was a betting man, I would tell you that your next bar has a very, very high likelihood of being an inside bar just because look how big of a range this one is. And for the good or the bad, I mean, you're probably going to have a really big, a pretty big source candle here. And another thing to look out for is the only way to avoid that next inside bar would be if price action obviously closes and it still continues downward. But I don't necessarily see that happening. I see this probably trying to get back into this range right here. So we will see. We'll see what happens here. Let's take a look at the equity markets and see. Nothing there. 15 minutes. Nothing there. Possible level setting up there. NQ. All right, so we got about a minute and 45 seconds for this, for that oil candle to close. That was a huge, huge move. Huge move. Let's see. So about 60 ticks was this downward move. Okay. Let's take a look. Still dropping. It is still dropping. Okay, looks like a big excess in oil. They were forecasting negative 1.5 million and they got 3.7. So that's obviously oversupply in oil, and that gives you a huge drop. So now this is the candle I was just talking to you guys about. More than likely, unless price action, unless oil continues its dump, you're more than likely going to get an inside bar on this next one, which would then create a unique situation because you would have a pretty huge source bar. So in my opinion, on these type of bars, the inside play kind of starts to lose some of its effectiveness. Okay, so right there we invalidated that inside bar setup in oil session 2. So now we'll kind of monitor to see how price action kind of develops with that. Honestly, one of the more boring mornings of the strategies. Nothing really, nothing in gold. $90 loser in oil session 1. No trade before oil inventory, and nothing really great on the levels. Bad day to go live, I guess. All right, let's take a look here. Let's see where we're at. Let's look at the 5-minute. Nothing there I like. And 3 minutes left on this candle for on the CL oil session 2. Got about 14 more minutes for this oil session 2 to be tradable. Man, pretty boring day here. Pretty boring day of trading. We'll see if this candle can survive. All right, 2 minutes left on this candle. One minute left on the candle. Come on. So we got the overnight open right below us. Yeah, not the greatest setup in the world, but hopefully it's a trade. All right, we got a setup. Oil session 2. The red inside bar right here. It's a pretty big source. I think it was 36 ticks, but we got to see in which direction we're going to be headed here. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a pretty decent sized trade. Anybody in this setup on the chat? You guys still with me? I know it's been pretty boring. My apologies, but out of my control. Do. This market is just very, 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 very slow today. All right, so we are activated into a short, 35 ticks. So pretty much exactly what I was assuming here. So here we've got obviously the overnight open, which is that yellow dashed line. We got to break through that, and typically you either get a retest here or you kind of just blow through it, and then sometimes get a retest from the downside in this scenario. But we'll see. We'll see here what happens with this trade. Let me just see what the market here. Let's go to the ES really quick. Okay. All right, let's watch it patiently here. All right, retesting our entry. There's a nice, that's the nice momentum outside of that range. Even though our entry bar was kind of ticked in, um, you could almost consider that a secondary inside bar. So let's see if we get some continuation there, or if we get a reject of that overnight open. But let's see if we can get a strong push down here. Come on. Yep, max size trade. Come on, push through it right here. You're going to see some fighting here. Definitely going to see some fighting right there as well. Well, it's going to take everything it has to get to here. Let's see. Looks like did we tap into it? No, one tick off. We'll see. Come on. Come on. I would rather see it touch and see what type of resistance we get there than it being one tick off. But we'll see. Let's take a look at the ES, see if this is... All right, made some movement on the ES down. Nothing there to trade. Let's go oil. Larry from Costa Rica, welcome. Almost 10 a.m. Gots to go to work soon. Let's go. Let's go. Give me at least a test to see what we're dealing with right here. It's like watching paint dry today. Jeez. All right, I'm gonna let you guys watch this price action here for a little bit while I get kind of ready for work, and I'll come back and take a take a look at it in a few minutes. All right, quick little wardrobe change. Ready for work. All right, we can reduce risk here now. Let's take it right to about there. So that was the push. We finally got the push through there. Let's just hopefully take a full take profit here. Come on. To the tick. To the tick. Now, sometimes we will retest here, so that's a big possibility. This could be the moment of truth here. Let's see that probably. Oh man, one tick. Oh, that's the way it goes sometimes. Come on. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Oh my goodness, right to the tick again. There we go. Banger. Banger right there. Finally. So as you guys can see, so what I was explaining was this entry, our activation candle right here, even though I know it ticked us in, it almost acted like a secondary inside bar, and that's why you kind of saw a lot of, we really needed that push here. And then obviously once I knew we were going to get the push through the 76.22 area, that was the kind of the momentum play that we're looking for. So up 260 on the day, which is awesome. Nothing really. Oh, let's see. Oh, we do have a 15-minute Rob reversal setup happening right now. I'm not trading. Oh no, it's not. I'm sorry. I thought that was an up bar. That's a down bar. So nothing there. Let's take a look at the levels just to see where that's at before I sign out here. And Q, yes. Nothing there that I really like. Nothing there that I really like on the levels today. All right, I think that's all for today. I got an appointment at 10:30, so oil session 2, you ended just in time for me, buddy. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for all the support on the live stream. Hopefully you guys learned something here this morning. Again, if you're looking to trade any of the strategies in oil, gold, or the 15-minute Rob reversal, or my levels, those strategies are all linked in the description on this video. If you want any of the indicators that a lot of our Discord members, specifically Money for Matt, has created for us to trade these strategies, including oil, golds, and the 15-minute Rob reversal automatically for you each morning on NinjaTrader, you can get those at robstrades.com. And again, all of the strategy videos, the rules, and how to install the indicators, they're all on there. So if you're interested in that, I did link that website at the top of the chat. So that's always there. I am going to leave the chat open for about a minute. So if you've got any final questions, please put them in there. Otherwise, happy trading, everyone. Be careful with the FOMC today. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. All right.